Yeah, I put the unit on the floor, get it out of the way. I mean, it's portable. Once you disconnect the wires, you just grab it and just move it wherever you want. And I got this channel up here. I bolted it on both sides. That's so you can mount it on the machine and put the studs through there and give you a good starting place to hang on to that thing. But I wanted to talk about the wiring here. While this is still here, try to make this as simple as possible. So I made a little diagram, and we got the 12 volt power supply, which is right there. Now I'm feeding both motor controllers with the 12 volts. So I got the positive going into here, this one, and then I got the positive going into this one right here. The one on the right is the positive, the one on the left is the negative, and this blue one being the negative and the black one. So the black one is the second one in, which is the negative, and the blue one is the negative on the left hand side. Positive, negative. Positive, negative. I got this wiring diagram from Curious Scientist, and when he shows the wiring diagram, it doesn't look anything like the part. I need something that shows me the part and where the wires go, and not like a wiring diagram, because it just doesn't look like the part. And he uses the exact same part, but it just doesn't look like it. So anyway, here, which is on this one, this is where the motor's attached, and I don't have a connection for this. I since ordered that. I had to order a kit. They give you the guy said I needed a 4-pin Moldex cable, and I couldn't find one, so I found this kit, and it gives you like 2-pin, 4-pin, 6-pin, 8-pin, then you get all the pins in a separate compartment, and you got to build your pin and this and that, and it's like a 115 piece set, and it was like $15, and it gives you the male and the female connections. And I figured, well, not only for this one connection, but if I got all these other connections I got to do too. So I figured, well, that's probably the better way to go. So I ordered that so I could get that for the motor. Anyway, the on the stepper line motor, the 1B is the green, the 1A is the black, the 2A is the red, and the 2B is the blue. Now they got some switches over here. These little switches right here, these control the speed. You can change those switches, and it changes the speed of the motor. And I have mine set to the off, off, off. which is the MS1, MS2, MS3. And there's a chart somewhere where by moving those switches you can change the speed. But I'm just going with this here. Whatever that turned out to be, that's what I'm using. Now these pins over here, so these three sets of 3 pins. Now the pin set closest to the bottom is the negative. The pin set in the middle is 5 volts, where your 5 volts come in. And the pin set on the top, or towards the inside, that's the direction, step, and EN. Enable, I think it was. So the direction and the step go to your round circular pulse generator / knob. That's that noisy knob you hear when I rotate it. But anyway, the Curious Scientist, when you went to the website where they sell these things, they have this one, and they have another one with another set of pins on the bottom, another set of these screw pins on the bottom. So I just got the one that he showed, which is what's with the pin set on the top. The other one, like I said, is 2-tier pin set, and I didn't know what all those other pins were for. But when you look at this thing, you got the A, the B, the OV, and the VCC. So the VCC is the positive. So we come off the phone charger because this is 5 volts. So you got the phone plus coming in, going to the VCC, which powers this rotary switch, and then I got it coming off, powering the motor controller. That goes to one of the center pins. And then the ground is going to the OV, and then I got a ground coming off of there going on to the pin on the end. These pins on the end are the negative for the motor controller, which is this guy here. And then the A and the B is the direction and step. Now it really doesn't matter which one of these you put on which one, because one of them is going to make the motor turn left, the other one's going to make it turn right. But at this point it didn't matter to me because I just needed the motor to turn. So I could have switched these around and it still would have worked. But later on I'll get it to where, you know, when I turn the knob one direction, the motor goes that direction, and when I turn it the other way, the motor will go, or the unit will go the other way. So I think that pretty much covers that. Now you gotta set that little pod in the center. Little pod right there. Now this is the motor controller for this guy, which is what I showed in the step indexer. It's the same thing. Same motor controller, same shield, same program, same diagram, except I added this little round part. So the short leg is the negative side, the long leg is the positive side. And that's that little guy right there. So one side goes to the positive side, the other side goes to the negative side. So this is all pretty much straightforward. Now this number 11, 3, and 2 come off the shield. That's the third hole, the fourth hole, and the fifth hole, which is the third hole, the fourth hole, and the fifth hole. Then at the bottom, you got your positive, your negative, and then the white one is the 5 volts. And that's all the wires you got coming off of the shield. The 3 on the top, and 3 on the bottom. Which is what I got here. Now the motor wires happen to be the same for me because I'm using stepper line motors. I don't think I would go by this. And I'm not using the temperature gauges. Yeah, let me show you one more thing. Okay, this is the original video from Curious Scientist. CNC encoder wheel with stepper motors. February 27, 21. That's where he talks about this encoder switch, the motor controller, and he has a list of parts where you can get them. You just click on it, it takes you right to the website. And then as far as this adjusting this what do I call that? This little thing here, pod. You got to adjust this pod for the amperage on the motor. So you can go to these. These are different ones that I looked at. There's 3 of them here. the 0 to Hero Engineering, that's the guy's handle. This J-Tech Customs, that's this guy's handle. And Millwright CNC, that's this guy's handle. But from what I remember, is I had it powered up. I didn't have the motors on it. Now this guy talked about, you know, powering it up and making sure you have the motors on it, but he had it in a board. But I'm not in a board. I'm just alone here. So I put the negative in the negative. I put the positive on my voltmeter in here, and I read the voltage, and then I just rotated this till I got the proper voltage. Of course, I had to take the probe off and rotate it, and then put the probe back on. And they talked about, you know, clipping the probe onto the screwdriver. But now see here, it says my amps is 2. So from what I understand, or what I did, was the amps for 2 is for 2 poles. So only dealing with, he says you have to cut the amps in half, or so that's like 1 amp. So you want a maximum of 1. So I set mine to, what was it, 0.75 volts. And you know, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's what I did. And that's what I'm using. So anyway, you can go to these and make up your own mind, and maybe you can figure it out better. And I'm sure there's other ones on YouTube, but these kind of describe what's going on there. You're setting a little, they call it a driver. Call it a driver. Motor driver. It's a little pod. I don't know, these wires are always in the way, you know? It's this guy right here. Now you turn it to the left to make it go up, and you turn it to the right to make it go down. So clockwise is down, counterclockwise is more. Don't ask me why it's like that, but that's the way it is. Alright. I think that pretty much covers the wiring. And this piece here that you attach to the top of this motor controller, it'll go both ways. So make sure you put it so that the heatsink part is to the outside, and the little pod is towards the switches. Alright, I hope that makes it a little simpler. I know I had a little tough time when I was doing it, because it was mostly this guy here, the motor controller. You know, it's when you're looking at, I guess if you understand electrical diagrams, you go to that curious scientist, and maybe you can figure it out. But I'm not a electrical kind of person, and I need basically a picture like this, and the wires coming off, and which is what I did here. So hopefully that's a little easier. All right. Bye.